Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a technical drawing of your camera. Now, you'll see what I mean once we start making it, but this sort of drawing is not a 3D model like this, but is the production drawing that someone would need if they were going to make the camera, like a manufacturer in a factory. It's going to give them all the sizes, and it's going to show them the views not in 3D, but 2D. Before we get started on it, I want you to go to your preferences, which is under your name, and select preferences. And we need to change a few settings in here. Fusion and Autodesk are an American company, and they have different drawing standards to British standards. So we've got to switch over to our British standards, and we're going to do that by selecting drawing. We're going to select this top option here, and this one means American standards, but the one underneath it, ISO, is British and European standards. Once we select that, we want to also just double check that our units are going to be in millimeters. Our page size is A3, and I want you to select this little box here so it's got a tick, and we'll change from first angle to third angle. This is really important to do, but you only need to do it once. So once you select apply and select OK, you don't have to do that again. Let's go into our drawing mode now. So we're going to change from model, and we're going to go and find drawing, which is at the bottom, and we're going to select from design. Now what it's doing here, it's saying, do you want to create a drawing of the whole thing? And our answer is yes, so that should be a tick. We're creating a brand new drawing. It's from scratch, it's in ISO, millimeters, and it's going to be A3 size. So all these settings are correct, so we select OK. And it's opening up a whole new document now. There's our camera model, and now this is our drawing. It's created a sheet for us, and it's also got the camera ready to go. So we just need to click and the camera will go in it. But before we just select OK, well, let's change a few settings here. The camera is looking a bit small to start, so let's change our scale. Scale is how big it is. We'll change that from half size to full size, and that is scale 1 to 1. Click there. Camera is now full size on the page. Don't worry, it will fit in. We don't want to have hidden detail showing, so let's make sure we just select the first box here. So we just see our solid lines and no hidden detail at the moment. We want to make sure there's no tangent edges on, and this one is fine to leave ticked. So let's press OK. And the colours have gone away, which is good. We don't want the colours in just now. And we've got our front view of our camera. Now we're going to bring in a top view and a side view. So select the front view, just click it and it will go blue. And up the top here, click on projected views. And if we go directly above it, it will automatically draw a top view for us. And if we go to the side and click, we've got a side view as well. We can also, let's zoom out there, we can also add in a 3D view, an isometric view, and click it here. And once we're done, press the enter button on our keyboard. Make sure your views aren't too close together. You do that by just clicking the view, and then you can grab the little grey handle and move it further apart. It will always be in line with the parent view, which is our elevation. So again, this side view here, I'm just going to pull it away a little bit. I want to have lots of space in between my views. So once you've got the page all set up and ready, we've got to now add some sizes and some titles on. So let's start off with some view titles. You go to the text button up here, just press it, zoom in, and click the size of the box, roughly about that size. And in this one, I want you to type in the word plan. Make sure it is block capital letters. And you can change the height of it if you want to 5mm, just select it first and it will change to 5. You can change your font type, but I don't advise it. Just keep it plain. Press close. And you can repeat that again. Text. And in this one here, we call this view, our front view is called elevation. Oops, let's do that again. 5. Let's actually type the word in the right box this time. Elevation. And press close. And our side view here is called end elevation. So let's put that in here, into this little space. Sorry, I've done it again. 5. And press close. Now we don't want our writing to be overlapping other things. So if you want to move something, click it, grab the grey handle, and you can move it. I'm going to make this box here a bit longer, like this, and then I'm going to move it so it's directly underneath the view. If I wanted to move this view up a bit, I would have to move the parent view up, like this, to give myself a bit more space in here. It's quite important that when you're doing this that you try and keep things nice and neat. If you were a manufacturer making it, you would want all the views to be clearly labelled and nicely organised so that it's easy to understand. So having view titles out of line or too far away is not good practice in this type of drawing. So now we've got our view titles in, let's put some sizes in. It's really easy to do this. If you click the dimension button, you can click a line. Let's go for this line first of all. Click the line and then give yourself a good distance away. So I usually go the distance of the number, so the number's really close to the edge just now, and then I'll go again so that it's got a gap here, roughly the same size as the number itself. I don't want to see dimensions which are, let's just click it, I don't want to see dimensions that are crossing the drawing view. I don't want to see dimensions that are miles away from the drawing view either. So round about that distance away is quite a good distance. You can go around your lines putting some dimensions on it, but something like this one here, we want to see the height of it. If I click dimension and click here, it's saying that it's 57mm. And I know it's not, it's 60. But that's because it's not including the round edge in here. So this dimension, I'm not going to click this line, I'm actually going to click here. I'm not going to place it yet. I'm going to click the bottom, and now it dimensions between the two lines, and I'm going to put it over to the side here. So it's important that you show the full height of something and not sort of in betweeny size without the fillets on it. There's a fillet there, so let's do this one. Let's put it over in this corner though. Click the fillet, and it's automatically understanding that it's a rounded edge, and it's showing that it's got a radius, a rounded edge of 2mm. Circles are good to put on the circles. So click a circle. You don't have to do them all. Let's just do a few and put in the 50. Notice that this 50 is not on the inside of it, so this would be bad practice if it was on the drawing. It's actually sitting outside of the drawing. I could put in, let's put in another one here. Let's go for that 20. That's a key dimension. And one more. Let's go for 40. There. All of those diameters are sitting outside of the drawing, and that symbol there means diameter. Now, the final thing that I want you to do, so you can put on some more dimensions, look at your example to think if you've got all the dimensions that you need. Your teacher will help you. And just before I move on to the final thing, sorry, If you are putting dimensions in, let's say, for example, let's do this one up here. Let's go to dimension and show the size between this point and this point is 21. And another dimension between this point, let's get it here, there we go, this point and this point is 25. I want you to show dimensions where the smaller size sits within a larger size. So bad practice again would be if this smaller size was cutting through the larger size, it sort of sits inside it, like it's like nested inside it. So be careful that you don't have dimensions that are overlapping each other when you're doing this. So the final thing is putting on center lines. Now, if you've got a circle, you have to show it's a circle by having a center line through it. You do that by clicking center mark and then just click the circle. And it does this like crosshair thing through it. So you can go over to your plan, your elevation, click center mark, and you click the big circle, and it will put a special line through it. This line here has got a long, a short, a long, a short, a long, a short. It's called a chain line, and it's a special line in British standards that show circles. If you look at your plan, this is the lens, and it is a circle, but at this moment it just looks like two squares. So we have to also put center lines through this, and you do it by going for the center line rather than the center mark. You click your first edge, you click your second edge, and it does a center line through it. Go for first edge, second edge, and it creates a longer center line through it. That shows that's a circle. You do the same on your elevation here and here. It's too small, this one, so it just does like a single one through it. And finally we can go for one here, here, here and here, and here and here. So if you've went and drawn any more circular dials and stuff on it, make sure you've got center lines running through the whole thing. Just to finish, I think I'll just squeeze it into this video here. In our name box, you can add in, it will have your name and your title and your date already in for you, first sheet. You can type in your teacher's name here, you can type in drawing number 1 here, but in this box here we'll put in what's called a third angle projection symbol. This is a special symbol that shows that it is to British standards, and it's quite simply saying that it's got a front view, side view and plan view in it. Now, your teacher will have this saved for you on your computer. So you just go to Insert Image, and I've got mine saved already in my Fusion 360 images. Your teacher will show you where it is. Click it, that's the one I want to use, and press Open, and click in this box, and it will put in this special symbol here. Once you've pressed OK, your drawing's done. But please do check it against your teacher's one or your example one that you should have with you to make sure that you've got all the information on the data on it. I'm fairly happy with this just now. I think I'll leave it as it is. There's probably a few more details that I could put on, but I'm quite happy and I'll leave it as it is just now.